We already had offered Raila the presidency. Are you understanding? There was this TikToker called Anini Baraza. She told Raila, stay at home. Let us finish the job. You have fought for us. Let us finish. So now for Raila to suspend his dreams of presidency, because we told him, let's get rid of Ruto and then we are going to install you as the president. For Raila to suspend, there must be a very strong conviction. Imagine somebody is offering you the presidency and you say no. My first objective. These kids have already committed verbally that they are going to give me the presidency once they get rid of Ruto. They have told me all I have to do is sit at home and they are going to finish Kumalo for me and they give me the presidency on a silver platter. Now, for you to discard that so as to save Ruto, what do you imagine they kept for him on the table beyond money? It was something more. And what was it? It was anti-Kikuyu sentiment. Because Raila hates Kikuyus. Raila dreams. Raila's biggest dream today would be all Kikuyus. I don't know what historical reasons stemming from Jaramogi Odinga with Kenyatta and him with Kibaki. I don't know what historical reasons that he knows or he has or which are so compelling to make him hate the community like that, but that is the biggest trigger. I have told you, everyone has a trigger. You have a trigger that somebody close to you knows. There's somebody who knows, nikinyamazia huyu, nikimpoeshia simu, atakasirika. So they will do that intentionally to get you on the precipice of going crazy. If they want, if they wield that power over you, they are going to use whatever bait that they have to get you to implode. You understand? So what could be very compelling to make Raila Odinga suspend his presidential dreams and ambitions so as to join the table to protect Ruto, to defend Ruto? The only thing that is powerful and strong enough for Raila Odinga to suspend his dreams and aspirations, what was so strong was his hate for anti-Kikuyu. So he was told, hii Gen Z yote unajua ni Kikuyu wamepanga. Unajua hii kitu ni Gachagua wamepanga, anataka anitoe akuwe president. Hey. Oh my God. No, I did not know. Oh, you mean? So it is easy to gaslight. So the only way they could have gotten Raila Odinga to the table was through anti-Kikuyu sentiment. That is the only way. They got him there. They started perpetuating the myth that regarding Gachagua. And they were so convinced. Like William Ruto was so convincing. But he was not speaking to us on June 25th. We were not the audience. The audience was politicians from opposition stronghold, because he kept saying what? That this thing has been funded. This thing has been supported by some people, even some people from outside the country. But all of that was just a script to trigger and to bait other politicians to coalesce against Mount Kenya. So once they came, then they said, number one, let's protect William Ruto, first of all, from this onslaught of the Gen Z who are being funded by Rigathi Gachagua. I've never met or spoken to Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua does not inspire me one bit. He has never said anything that I felt compelled to retweet, to repost. Nothing of substance. So why would I, when I was arrested by DCI, why would they ask me whether I have ever spoken to Gachagua? And they have never picked up his sons. They have never picked him up. They have never picked his wife up. Simu la pizi kachukuliwa. All because, all because of this guy. Ati wanatafuta evidence kuona kama nilikuwa naongea na wao. I swear to one God. I swear I challenge you to call anyone mwenye ashahadbakiwa. Umuulize kitu ya kwanza DCI wanakuuliza ni nini ama hao NS. They were just looking for something that would connect him to Rigiji, because they needed to convince the idiots in the opposition that the protests were associated with Mount Kenya. You understand? if we didn't have the element of Gachagua constantly campaigning, prematurely campaigning, we would not be having the tribal sentiment, the escalated tribal sentiment that Gaucho and Mbanya are using, are escalating with. You understand? So all of these things, the offshoots of Gachagua's verbal diarrhea, the offshoots and the whatever, the resultant or cumulative effect of Gachagua's verbal diarrhea is now these smaller offshoots we are seeing in the likes of Mbanya. Understand? Mbanya, Gaitho, these are the Lady Jacqueline. You know, you guys follow just anyone too mwenye amejitokeza. Somebody without brains, somebody without logic or common sense. You just follow them too. Fwa. Fwa. So, akina Mbanya are the offshoots. They are the cumulative effect of the scripted and choreographed ethnic tour of Rigathi Gachagua around the country. You understand? So while you guys are promoting Rigathi Gachagua as even an option in the next election, what he's doing is he's making it difficult for us to realize our objectives. Now, our objectives is Ruto must go and institutional and structural reform. You understand? That is our objective. So who has gotten us? Kengori is telling us to speak about Gaucho. Who has emboldened Gaucho to speak the way he's speaking? It is none other than Rigathi Gachagua, because he appointed himself as a spokesman of the region without any mandate of the people. He made himself the spokesman. He made himself the kingpin. I was never consulted. I was never done what? Why are you telling us to whatever? Now, secondly, ever since Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, he has never spoken about Ruto must go. He has never rallied sympathetic members of parliament to the cause of impeaching or voting a vote of no confidence against Ruto. But he's just gaslighting people every day over the weekends. He's not giving the punch. He's not giving the right message. Every time you listen to him, like now, for instance, when he was talking about the abductors, he just said a name called Abel. He just said a name called Abel. We had to do the dirty work of finding out the other information. You understand? He just says Abel because he's not there to burn bridges with Ruto. He's not there to challenge the establishment. He's there to gaslight you. He's there to bait you. He's there to distract you. He's there to derail you. You understand? So we have moved from an intellectual high of discussing taxes and whatever, and the budget and everything, and everything that in between. And now we have been reduced to tribal arithmetic. All because of who? All because of Rigathi Gachagua. So, isn't it plausible that he has been deliberately deployed to serve this very purpose? You understand? Isn't it, do you think it's a coincidence that he is well funded to hire, thank you very much, the Don, he is well funded to hire influencers. There's Cornelius Rono, there's Jim Jue, there's all these people who promote him on X and who promote him on TikTok. They don't do it for free. It's not cheap either. You understand? It's not cheap either. But do you think that it is happening by coincidence? I told you, anyone who wants to vie for president, even Trump himself, Trump started his campaign full throttle last year, August, which was more or less like 4 months to the elections. He never did a rally before that. He never did a campaign before that. So this guy who is doing rallies and is ready to do rallies between now and 2027, where is this money coming from? Have you asked yourself that question? This guy who has influencers and twips on his payroll to constantly regurgitate his stupidity and mental impotence, where is he getting the funding for that? How much did he steal? Even if he stole 100 billion, which is impossible, Maximum cash, I believe. He might have assets, he might be asset rich, but the cash that Rigiji might have come out with cannot be more than 20 billion. With the kind of campaigns that he has already unleashed, with the kind of live TV interviews for them to have, they come to his home in Wamunyoro, you think it is free? You think it is free? For him to spend all that money, you think it is his money? You think rich people spend their money like that? That is government money. For him, he's ready to unleash, to roll out a campaign between now and 2 years. He's ready to sustain it. You genuinely believe it is his money? He's going to his bank account and withdrawing? Do you think regarding Gachagua, all the media tours that he's been going, all the media tours that he's been going, you think they've been free? There was this lady who's called Sandra Kimani, who was complaining that they have not been paid by, what are these guys called? Affordable bloggers of State House. And so she was talking about, for every interview that she goes, whether it is radio, whether it is TV, you have to go and leave something for the person who has interviewed you. You have to leave 3K or 5K. So you can imagine, for the wall-to-wall coverage that Rigathi Gachagua has been receiving, how much he has paid. You can imagine. Just try and put an amount on it. So you think that this money in here anaenda kwa bank? No, first of all, if he had stolen money and he had stashed it, a genuine government which is cracking down on him would have cracked down on his money, would have blocked his finances, his assets and everything. Nothing of the sort has happened. He is moving around the country, which shows that he has been allowed. As imebidi tuende chini ya maji kwa sababu ya tweet moja mbili tatu. Him who is doing significant damage is allowed. Rigiji is the source, is the engineer, is the initiator. Because once again, back in June, we were discussing taxes, we were discussing the whatever debt position, we were on an intellectual high. How we moved from that to this is none other than Rigathi Gachagua, because he turned his impeachment into a Gen Z affair. As we were not involved with him. In fact, what did we say when he was being impeached? We said, kufa dereva, kufa makanga. If you're getting rid of the makanga, why leave the driver? Get rid of both sons of bitches. You understand? So, whatever. We were never about whatever. Rigathi Gachagua has desperately then tried to insinuate and associate himself with Gen Z. Even when he goes for meetings, asema, unaona Gen Z, tukieka kura ya Gen Z. Anaeka kura ya nani? Kuna Gen Z yote yako hapa ametuma ati anasema atavotia nini? Rigiji. Kuna yote. So, we have moved from that intellectual high and come low because of one and only Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua has been the biggest liability of the movement. He has been the biggest problem that we have had. He has been the biggest problem that we have faced. If he didn't exist, we could have executed June 25th. But he, in his infinite stupidity, saw it wise now to start giving press conferences. He was paying people to say that he's the one behind Gen Z, but it was all choreographed to ensure that they galvanize the opposition politicians, yeah,